Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to review Monday, August 31st, our daily language with you. And it looks like our theme for today is all about snakes. So let's look at our first one right here. It tells us to correct the mistake in the sentence. Now, you might already see it. I'm going to read it, and I hope you're paying close attention so you can see it too. A scientist who studies snakes is called a herpetologist. Do you see it? Yes, we need to start with a capital letter always. Let me make sure I plug in my USB so I'll be able to write. Raise your hand if you're today years old when you learned a person who studies snakes is called a herpetologist. Now you can use that fancy vocabulary at home. The second one says complete the sentence. A rattlesnake. So we have the noun. The noun is a rattlesnake. In order to be a complete sentence, we have to have a verb or an action that this rattlesnake does. So what could we say about the rattlesnake? I'm going to say a rattlesnake shakes. I don't have enough room on the top line or else I would write right there. Shakes its tail to scare off, and I love fancy vocabulary, so I'm going to say predators. Those are animals or people even that could attack them. The rattlesnake shakes its tail to scare off predators. All right, the next one says, what pronoun could replace the underlined noun in the sentence? I encourage you, if you haven't already, to Google Schoolhouse Rock pronouns. It's an awesome video that will give you insight into pronouns more in depth. Snakes are reptiles. So instead of saying snakes, I could just use a pronoun to replace that. And I'm going to say they. Because snake refers to a group of snakes. There's more than one. So they would also make sense here. And I'm going to scroll my screen up. Underline the verb in the sentence. A verb is what you do. I love to dance. I love to sing. I love to run. What is our verb that's happening here? A snake flicks its tongue in the air. Ooh, I see the noun. The noun is a snake. Do you see what the verb is? Yes, it's flicks. That's what it's doing. And make sure you underline it because it specifically says to underline. Underline the adjective in the sentence. Unpack your adjectives. He was a hairy bear. He was a scary bear. I remember that song from whenever I was in third grade, and every time I hear adjective, it comes right to my mind. Some snakes have colorful rings. We need to look for that adjective that's describing a noun. Do you see it? It's colorful. Colorful is describing the rings. Now, we're not really supposed to show the noun, but I wanted to show you what it was describing. So colorful would be our adjective. Our next one, oops, and I forgot to change the color originally. All right, I'm going to move this up so you can see what I'm looking at. Split the word into parts and write the meaning of the word. So we're going to partition. Hiya! Rattlesnakes. Where, or rattlesnake, excuse me, it just means one. And I'm going to partition it between rattle and snake because rattle is a word and so is snake. And they're asking for us to tell the definition. Now, I know as third graders, you already know what a rattlesnake is, but my younger children are not necessarily going to know it. Now, the trick of this is when you're telling the definition, I don't want you to use the word rattle or snake. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into our vocabulary to help us out. So let's think about a snake. What animal group is it a part of? Is it a part of the birds, fish, amphibian, reptiles, or mammals? What would a snake be part of? Yes, it's part of the reptile group. Who's your brain? You are so smart. I'm going to say it means a reptile. And what do snakes do? They slither. That would let me know that it's different between other reptiles. A reptile that slithers And we got to focus on the tail because we're not just talking about any old snake. We're talking about a rattlesnake. So we need to be specific here. We can't use the word rattle. So we need to think of a synonym or a word that means the same thing as rattle. Shakes. That would be the same thing as saying that it rattles. A reptile that slithers and shakes its tail. Good job. We told a definition without using the words inside of the definition. That's challenging, but we were able to accomplish that. All right. Fill in the blank. An adverb describes a... Well, first, I want you to look very closely at the word adverb. I spy with my little eye a word inside of the word adverb. Do you see it too? It's verb. You're right. So an adverb describes a, you guessed it, a verb. All right. Today in class, we were dancing. That's our verb. That was the action that we did. Let's talk about how we danced. We could dance quickly. We could dance slowly. But today, we dance quickly. So my adverb to describe how we dance is quickly. I don't know about you, but I was out of breath after our dance party. That quickly, because we were dancing so quickly, I lost my breath, but I had a lot of fun. All right, boys and girls, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.